Good morning, I'm Stephen Wessner, CEO of Predictive ROI. Thanks for coming back for this week's video. If you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. Just click the little button below and then the little bell icon next to it. That way you'll get a notification every Thursday morning when we air a new video. This week, let's dive into why building a value ladder is important, and first, what is a value ladder, and then why it's important. In fact, if you go back to episode 834 of Onward Nation, that's when I had an opportunity to do an encore interview with Brett Gilliland, and Brett is the CEO of Elite Entrepreneurs. Fantastic organization, and in their entire purpose is built around helping business owners like you and me build and scale, and being able to get past those barriers. And Brett likes to describe those barriers, or those barriers occur at the ones and threes. And so what do I mean by that? Or what does Brett mean by that? So when you're first starting out, getting to that first $100,000 in revenue, and then being able to go from $100,000 to $300,000, there are things that you need to do as a business owner in order to be able to scale from 100,000 or a 1 to 300,000 or a 3. And then once you reach that $300,000 level, it's certainly not easy street, but you start to feel, kind of dialed in. You start to feel maybe a little smooth, that things are running smoothly, right, when you're at that $300,000 level. But then be able to go from $300,000 to $1 million, there's a series of challenges, obstacles, systems, roadblocks that you're gonna have to get past. A number of different things to be able to go from $300,000 to $1 million in revenue. To go from a 3 now back to a 1. And incidentally, put a little asterisk here, only about 3 to 4% of all businesses ever reach the $1 million level, which is amazing. That is really rare air. So if you're in that spot, just first of all, I know that your days are filled with crazy. I get it. I know that you're stressed and you've got big challenges and big obstacles and big wins too. And it feels like the entire world is against you sometimes. I get it. I understand it. But also give yourself the grace. If you're at that $1 million mark, just take a second and think, holy bananas, only 3% of businesses ever get here, and I'm here. How amazing is that? So first, give yourself some grace, give yourself a pat on the back and some high fives to your team, because it did not happen by accident. So then the next piece is to be able to go from $1 million to $3 million. So every time you're going from 1 to a 3, and then at 3 million to be able to reach 10, and then from 10 million to be able to reach 30 million. There's all these different 1s and 3s, and then the obstacles in between. So why do I share that with you now? Because what we also talked about during that episode was how a value ladder, can you see my breath? Right now, it's cold here in Wisconsin this early fall, so sorry. But some of the things we also talked about during that episode was how having a value ladder can help a business owner and their team get from the next 1 or the next 3 to the next 1 or the next 3, be able to scale up incrementally. Okay, so what do I mean by a value ladder? So it's one thing to have a core service offering. Let's use Predictive ROI as an example. So we have a silver, gold, and platinum service level. Awesome. And all of our clients are at one of those 3 levels. But what we've also started building out is we've recognized this deficiency in our business model too. Look, not everybody wants to be able to say, you know what? I want to be all in on silver or all in on gold or platinum. Totally get it. Now, we're not the right service provider for every single business owner. I totally get that. But even if somebody is our avatar, our ideal client, even still, they want to be able to have sometimes a different entry point into being able to start experiencing you risk-free, being able to start working with your team for lesser financial and time commitment. And so we're building that, putting that into place. So what does that look like for you? Well, let's say that you have a $30,000, $50,000, and $100,000 service level in your business. Awesome. But could you also have a service offering, or maybe a small product, maybe a research tool, something that could be super, super helpful for somebody that might be $99? Could you then also have something that you could provide for a couple $1,000s? Maybe it's an attendance at one of your events or a VIP something. Then could you offer something that might be $5,000 or $6,000? So you're stepping somebody, just like you would be on a ladder, you're stepping somebody into relationship with you, and it also gives you an opportunity to not only step them into relationship with you, but also, even more importantly, it gives you an opportunity to step into a relationship with them and how you can be helpful to them, so that if at some point you have this opportunity to serve them at a greater degree at one of your $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 service levels, you know them and their business even more intimately than you do at the beginning. They know you and your team, and there's an established comfort level, and there's a lot of trust. I'm going to give you a little bit of money, you're going to give me this back. Oh, you did a great job with that. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more money, and you're going to give me this back. So there's that value exchange all the way up the ladder, until ultimately they're at the highest rung of the ladder, and then you need to probably reinvent the value ladder and think about strategically, how can I be even more helpful to our clients? We have this great opportunity to be working up and down this value ladder. Now that they're at the top of the value ladder, what else can I do for them? How else can I be helpful? So the concept, the strategy behind value ladder, pretty simple. But I will say that most business owners do not have a specific value ladder in place. And so I encourage you to do that. First step, go listen to episode 834, because Brett does a great job of taking us behind the curtain and explaining their value ladder, the strategy behind it. There are some great golden nuggets in there that you can take and apply as you're crafting your own value ladder. So I hope that that was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, double down and onward with gusto.